We have invited a special group of individuals to give context to the author's accomplishments and to their work. I first of all want to welcome Garry Geddes. Garry Geddes is a poet and one of the most influential literary editors in British Columbia. He has taught at universities in Canada and the United States and is the author of notable nonfiction works, including his memoir of the BC coast, Sailing Home, and The Kingdom of 10,000 Things, a travelogue of the Himalayas. His most recent book is False Work, a long poem about the 1958 collapse of Vancouver's second narrow bridge. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Garry Geddes.
I have a small confession to make. Although I knew her name, I must be one of the few Canadian writers who was not familiar with Lorna Goodison's work before I heard of the nomination. She's the author of two collections of stories and at least 10 books of poetry. She's the winner of the Commonwealth Writers' Prize and the Musgrave Gold Medal for Literature. She teaches at the University of Michigan, and she lives part-time in Toronto and Ann Arbor. So I came to her memoir From Harvey River with no preconceptions, and it's been a very rich learning experience for me. Indeed, a revelation to discover not only fine writing, but also an attractive and discerning sensibility. I know now what Lorna means when she says she rejoices in her double language. English and its literary tradition, but also the rich and colorful Creole idiom of the West Indies. We as readers can rejoice too, not only in her double language, but in her double heritage. From Harvey River is a hymn to place, a particular locale in Jamaica that has shaped and nourished her, a thoroughly regenerative landscape. But it's also a paean to family, a celebration of that essential, impossible clan that births, bathes, and bothers us. The family, for better or for worse, warts and all. Her father Marcus, wise and generous to a fault. Her mother Doris, devoted, demanding, indentured to her singer-sewing machine, stitching the fates of her children and sisters, the fabulous Harvey girls, including the incorrigible Cleodine, as stubborn as she is elegant. The final pages of From Harvey River are a masterpiece of timing and texture, as Lorna, having inherited the skill of her dying mother, weaves so many lives into one glorious cloth. I want to read you a small passage that knocked my socks off. It takes place just after her mother's death, when she is standing in the market in front of a clerk named Peggy, overcome by grief and guilt. One by one, the women standing around me begin to testify to the goodness of one's mother. There is nothing like a mother. No, sir, nothing like a mother's love. Even if your mother is the worst woman in the world, you must love her because she give you life. One woman tells of her mother's peaceful passing in the care of a loving daughter. I did just bathe her and put on a new panty on her and put her to sleep on a clean sheet, and just so she sleep off. Each of them tell me about this rite of passage when your mother becomes your child, and I stand in that loving circle of women like Sally Water of the children's ring game, with weeping eyes as they comfort me. No mind, no mind, no mind. As if place and family and the glorious strength and solidarity of women were not enough, there's also the intoxicating smell of food rising from the pages of this memoir, particularly the bottomless pots of stew concocted by Doris for her 9 children, their friends, and the extra guests so often arriving unexpected. The pages of From Harvey River, where yams, pimentos, and mangoes abound, end with a reference to Lorna's mother's hands, which always smelled of onion, and to another small but telling detail about mothers and daughters. She dipped her finger in sugar when I was born and rubbed it under my tongue to give me the gift of words. And what a gift it is. This is one of the few benefits of ignorance. It affords you the pleasure of reading something wonderful for the first time. I'm grateful to have been the beneficiary of Lorna Goodison's extraordinary gift of words and to have the honor of introducing and recommending it to you today.